following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Leatherneck football went under the lights at Hanson Field for the first time this year. Highlights of the action against the 4th-ranked Bison are coming up.
And we caught up with Leatherneck women's basketball coach J.D. Gravina and a few key players to preview the upcoming season. You won't want to miss it.
And we have a special guest in studio. He's a Maryland alum and a minor league baseball broadcaster. You won't want to miss our sit down with the voice of the Leathernecks.
Welcome to Local Sports Focus, a show that covers everything Western Illinois and Macomb High School sports. I'm Danny Fry.
And I'm Redrick Terry. On today's show, we have Western Illinois football, soccer, top plays, and all the MHS sports coverage you can handle.
Let's begin on the gridiron. The Leathernecks came into the weekend with a 5-1 record, winners of their previous 2 matchups, and went down to the wire.
That's right, and they look to make it 6-1 against the North Dakota State Bison team that has won the last 3 times these two have met.
Fired up and ready to go. It's prime time under the lights. Coach Fisher reminding what the Leathernecks' name is. And of course, the pregame handshake beforehand. Easton Stick with plenty of time. He gets it over the middle to Darius Shepard for the first big play of the ball game, 48 yards. And then from 3 yards out, King Frazier scores to cap off the first NDSU drive of the game. 5 minutes in the ball game, 7-0 Bison. Time winding down in the first quarter, and Nathan Knuthman punches it through for 3 points. 7-3 NDSU after 1 quarter.
And let's go to the second. How about Adam Brott stepping in front of this pass from Stick for the interception? Great instincts on the play by the linebacker. Brott and the Leathernecks were in business. Nothing doing offensively, though, so the Leathernecks settled for the 28-yard field goal. 11:16 left in the second quarter, and it's a 1-point game. And then Frazier gets the call again for the Bison. He strikes pay dirt with 4 minutes to go in the first half. 14-6 NDSU. It's up total 4 straight times.
Flash forward a few minutes of the Bison on the move again. A great pass from Stick to Jeff Ilias. Keeps his feet in even after the review that's ruled a touchdown. And then the field goal attempt as time expires in the half is blocked. So at halftime, all the momentum going to the visitors from Fargo, and Western would have to go back to the drawing board, trailing by 15 points. A lot of designed runs with Sean McGuire on Saturday here. He just won't go down. That's why he says no puppies, and Western wastes no time to punch in. How about the Temple transfer? Jamie Gilmore finds the gap. He scores with 8:56 left in the third quarter, 21-13. North Dakota State, and you got to bring out the college game day signs as well. Stick only threw 2 interceptions all season long going into the game. Well, there's his second of the ball game. It's Darren Wheeler. He picked a heck of a time for his first interception, but there was a 15-yard penalty, Redrick.
And that will push Western back farther into the red zone, but it led to another blocked field goal. Leathernecks weren't able to get any points there. Now pressure from the WIU special teams as that field goal had no chance, but now trying to catch in. Here's Lance Lenore tiptoeing down the sideline. Again, closer to breaking that MVFC record. How about a play later? Tony Harper left alone, and he snags it falling backwards. Great catch by the transfer Harper. How about the slant to Lenore here right outside of the doorstep, but he was denied the touchdown with a big hit at the goal line.
That leads to a 4th and goal from the 1. Trying to go over the top is McGuire, but the ball pops loose. Did he break the plane? Ruled no. A Western turnover, North Dakota State ball on the touchback. Western would get the ball back, but Jalen Allison intercepts Sean McGuire. And then the Western defense time and time again stepped up on 4th down. They do so just here. A first down would have won it with 41 seconds left. Last chance, Leathernecks needing a miracle, but it's out of the fingertips of Joey Borsellino, intercepted by Trey Dempsey, and that would be the ball game.
And the Bison were able to get a tough victory over the Leathernecks, 21-13, the final score. Western was able to hold the Bison scoreless through the second half. The show will hit the road this weekend for the Leathernecks as they will head to Vermilion, South Dakota, and face off against the Coyotes.
And former Western Illinois head football coach Bob Nielsen will be waiting there. Shifting the focus to high school football, the Macomb Bombers look to end their season on a high note and try to get a little bit of a winning streak going.
And in order to do that, they would have to get past the Chillicothe IVC team that looked to get get back over 500.
And get into the playoffs, and the Gray Ghosts would do exactly that. They defeat the Bombers 49-26. The Bombers end up 2-7. The Gray Ghosts qualify for the playoffs. Congratulations to Macomb on finishing a very hard-fought 2016 campaign.
Absolutely. And although the Bomber season is over, that doesn't stop our high school football playoff coverage.
Not at all. Some small-town football on Saturday afternoon, and we have a full slate. In Class 1A, it's a rivalry in the postseason as Carrollton visits Central. One of our games of the week that we'll have a camera at, Greenfield Northwestern heading into the always tough environment at Mount Sterling, Brown County.
And not too far away from campus, Bushnell West Prairie, the Sparklones are in the playoffs, taking a business trip to battle Anawan Weathersfield. Undefeated Unity Payson will host Illini West, who just squeaked into the playoffs. And
we're still going in Class 2A as we skipped ahead a little bit there. Powerhouse Downs Tri-Valley will run into the Rockets of Rushville Industries Saturday at 1 o'clock in St. Thomas. Moore from Champaign will drive across the state for a meeting with undefeated West Hancock. Now let's go to Class 3A through 6A.
To Class 3A, where the Beardstown Tigers were 0-18 the past 2 years, but they find themselves in the playoffs at the red-hot North Mac Panthers. How about those undefeated Farmington Farmers? They don't have a typical first-round game on Friday night as they go against Winnebago.
The Little Giants of Canton pulled off a 7-2 record in 2016. They got themselves a home playoff game, and got to give some love to the bigger schools up to 6A. Galesburg, the Silver Streaks host Chicago Hubbard.
Should be fun. Well, late October is always a fun time in cross country. Regionals are among us, and the Bomber cross country crew look to earn some trips to Elmwood.
But first, they would have to perform at Spring Lake Park, and I actually found my way there this time as we head there on Saturday morning. Sound of the gun, and they're off. We'll start the girls' race. Macomb's Maya Stovall, the favorite, and she was neck and neck with Anna Heffron of Lewiston for most of the race. Stovall breaks the course record of a shattering time of 18:08, but freshman Anna Heffron finished ahead of her with a time of 18:03. A very fast run race, but there was some separation. Here's Maggie Swanson cracking the top 10 of the time of 20:43.
Absolutely. How about Hallie Evans? Not far behind, finishing at 21:15 and in 15th place. Not too shabby after a pretty strong end to her race. How about that? Associate Dean of the WIU College of Fine Arts and Communication, Sharon Evans. Journalism and Broadcasting Chair Buzz Hoon there as well, supporting Hallie.
And we head over to the boys' race, off to a very fast start. Noah Piles channeling inner Taylor Swift and shaking it off, while Zach Zonley's just cruising, going for a stroll around the corner. Piles leads the Bombers to the 7th place finish at 16:39.
Zanley realizes he needs to turn on the burners, down to a photo finish, and he barely crosses the line first for 12th overall. Good play, good run there by him. And how about striding it out is Dakota Shepler, a time of 17:42 in 22nd place. But wait, there's more. Alex Drains right behind him by 3 seconds.
Overall, a good day for both squad. The girls ended up with a combined score of 82. That's good enough for 4th place. They will advance to those Elmwood sectionals.
And joining them will be the boys with their combined score of 104, which was tied for the 3rd best mark of the day. They will also be in Elmwood for the sectional round.
Well, the regional fun didn't stop at cross country. MHS volleyball spent the beginning of this week down in Bartonville Limestone for their first regional matchup against Peoria Manual.
And the Bombers handled the Rams, sweeping them in 2 sets, but it wouldn't get any easier for Macomb, though, as they had Peoria Notre Dame up next.
Not at all, Redrick. The Fighting Irish grabbed the victory 2-0. Macomb finished the season with a very impressive 23-9 overall record. As there's a look at how they beat the Rams, but Peoria Notre Dame did edge them 2-0. Congratulations to the Lady Bombers on a great year.
Coming up next, basketball is back. WIU women's hoops faced off against William Jewell in its first exhibition of the season inside Western Hall. Stay tuned for highlights on the other side of the break.
And the Lady Bombers swimming team in action again last night after a little bit of a hiatus from being at home. We have full highlights and upcoming schedule next.
I think just working with everybody in the newsroom, everybody has such a great camaraderie. All the opportunities that I've been given here have just been amazing to expand on that resume. I try not to beat myself up on the mistakes I make because there's so many opportunities. Just giving that experience, and this is how I got to do things in the real world, is really what the broadcasting and journalism department has done for me. When you have a really good show and that everybody nailed it, I mean, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Garrett Covington chose Western Illinois University because of the law enforcement program and the chance to be a Leatherneck.
Western has one of the best law enforcement programs in the nation, and I get to play the game I love. Whether I go pro or I go to law school, because of Western, I would take my success to another level. I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Think purple, think success. Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back. It's that time once again. Basketball back at Western Hall. WIU Women's Hoops returns to action after a year that saw an appearance in their first postseason tournament since 2005.
That's right, and their first exhibition game of the season will come against head coach J.D. Gravina's alma mater, a familiar team in William Jewell.
The early preseason game scheduled early because they want to see where the team is after practice. Men's basketball head coach Billy Wright in the house to the action towards the end of the first quarter. Jasmine Patrick misses the putback, but Morgan Bloomer, the transfer, says thank you very much, swipes it, and lays it in. WIU ahead 19-16 after the first quarter.
Cardinals starting to heat up. Here is Hayden Butler from the corner, drains the three, beating the Leathernecks at their own game right there with the long ball. Taylor Hanneman, you see Coach Gravina there coaching them up. How about Taylor Hanneman? Formerly Taylor McClintock. She gets the nice runner right there to go for the Leathernecks. Let's jump ahead. 2:35 left to go in the second quarter. Anne-Marie Bowe knocks down another triple for William Jewell to put the Cardinals up 32-27 before Western even made a three.
Taylor Higginbotham sends a pass top of the key. There's that three. Redrick Emily Clemens drills it from the top of the key. Then to the waning seconds of the first half, Clemens this time dishes it to Hanneman at the buzzer. She drains the trifecta. WIU would trail 36-35 at the half.
And the Leathernecks, unfortunately, were unable to grab the exhibition victory, dropping one to William Jewell 69-66. Emily Clemens led the way for the Leathernecks with 15 points.
Even following the loss, there's still a lot of promise with this year's group. Senior leaders Sophie Reichelt and Michelle Maher graduated after the team's run to their first postseason victory in not just women's, but Leatherneck basketball history as a whole.
That's right, and it was truly a learning experience that the team looks to build on.
Proved to us as a team that we can compete with the best of the best, and I think we really used that adrenaline going into the postseason.
I thought that kind of simulated life, and that's the way life is. You know, people get into sports and they think it's just going to be this great experience, and it's tough, and those girls really battled through it, and I was proud that they got to see some results.
And so it was tough to come back together. Everyone was going to go on vacation, and then we all came back, had nothing to lose, and I feel like we just played very well together, and nothing to lose attitude. It just worked really well for us.
Western's fast-paced style of play will not change from last year.
I think offensively we should be a pretty similar team. Maybe even have a chance to be a little bit better. We've got great spacing this year. We really move the ball well. We've been moving without the ball as good as any team I've ever coached.
We have a lot of speed with this team, and our motion style offense just gives a lot of people a lot of freedom and opportunity to play unselfish and just like continuity basketball. So I think that's a huge plus for us.
Yeah, I feel like we have a really exciting team. Everyone's pumped, and everyone has the drive to win, and I just think we all mesh really well together, and we're going to come out and do some great things together.
Among last year's transfers ready to play this year is Morgan Bloomer from Florida Gulf Coast.
I think sitting out actually helped me a lot because it made me get acclimated to Western's offense, their defense, what they like to do, what the coaches want. And I just think it helped a lot sitting out, and I really cannot wait to play. It's literally been a long year.
Rounding out the newcomers on the team this year are three freshmen, Olivia Kaufman, Andy Pierce, and Sam Pryor.
I think every freshman class, they have their good days and bad days, and it's such a tough transition going to play at the Division I level, and I think those kids are really bringing some maturity to it. They're in the gym working hard, and they're all three different kids, which I like.
And they will play one more exhibition game next week against William Penn.
The MHS girls swimming and diving team back in the pool. Some competition this past Tuesday night at the MHS pool against Galesburg.
Let's head there right now. And once again, Maren McIlvain Newsad in the 50-yard freestyle sets the tone early in the heat, staging her win as she goes on to beat Haley Glasnovich in a very tight race right there. Then in the 100-yard butterfly, Megan Jackson neck and neck with Galesburg's Kyra McGill off the first wall, but in the end, Jackson pulls ahead in this one, beating out McGill. As Bombers are trying to separate themselves in this one. This is Maya Bidgary taking the lead here and continuing it all the way to the finish in the 100-yard freestyle.
Getting the Bomber girls together as they test the silver streaks in the 200-yard freestyle. They go one after another. All four girls beat out Galesburg with a sizable lead in, of course, the very long race. And finishing off in the pool, of course, why not McIlvain Newsad and Allison Jackson. First and second place as we get to the backstroke and the form. And the Bombers would use that to their advantage, Redrick.
Absolutely, and although the Bombers tried to close gaps against Galesburg, they still end up coming up short with a final score of 103-65 in favor of Galesburg.
Up next, the voice of Leatherneck football and men's basketball joins us live in studio. You won't want to miss our interview with Scott Kornberg after the break.
We have 2 minutes to grab a cup of coffee before you join us back here for Local Sports Focus.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
I think what I love most about NEWS3 is that we're really provided with a real-world experience. We're able to get hands-on work in news, and it's very similar to what you would find in a real newsroom, but everyone around here is really good about pushing you to be your best. NEWS3 has really taught me to believe in myself and that if you work hard, you can achieve anything you want. News can sometimes be really tricky, and you have a lot of roadblocks. All of us hold each other to really high standards, and I think that really shows in our newscasts.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back to Local Sports Focus. And joining us now, it's a voice, a familiar voice if you listen to Leatherneck Athletics on the radio. This is the men's basketball and football voice. Mr. Scott Kornberg joins us now. Scott, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor. You guys really do a great job.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Well, tell us about your career path so far. How did it begin, and kind of how did you end up here at Western?
Well, I've been very, very fortunate. I've kind of moved around to a bunch of different places, first in North Carolina, then upstate New York once I graduated college, and then out to the Midwest. And this is my third year at Western Illinois, so I'm really, really fortunate to be out here because for me, it's a great opportunity. I'm a very, very young broadcaster. I get to broadcast Division I football and men's basketball. Not many people my age have the opportunity to do that. So it's been a winding road to get to Macomb. I never thought I'd live out here, but it's been really a big blessing for me.
Has that always been the goal for you, getting into broadcasting and doing things like that?
Yeah, I always wanted to do, as soon as I realized I wasn't good enough, I mean, look at me, Redrick, I'm like 5'10", 150 pounds, so I realized I wasn't going to be big enough to play, and I played, some high school sports or whatever, but I realized what's the way I could stay in sports, and for me, that was being able to talk and broadcast. I always loved listening to the crowd. And I think my broadcasting style, I try to get the crowd involved as much as possible and try to talk as little as possible. So I always knew that I wanted to do something like that, just even listening when I was young. There was a funny story when I was, I don't know, maybe 5 or actually 7 or 8. The Mets, my favorite baseball team growing up, were playing in the playoffs. And I was so psyched the whole game to watch them play. And then I think I got in trouble for making fun of my little sister, and I got punished, sent to my room. And I turned on the game on the radio, and I got to hear them hit a walk-off home run. And for me, just to hear the crowd behind it, it was a blessing in disguise to get sent to timeout. I got in trouble later for listening, but it worked out.
Absolutely. And let's talk about one of those programs that you do broadcast, Leatherneck Football. They're off to one of their best starts in years. What is the difference in your mind from last year to this year?
Well, I think it's a lot of players who played when they were young, freshmen and sophomores, and they're still playing a lot of younger players, but they have a lot of experience under their belt now, so they kind of know what the Missouri Valley Football Conference is about. And Charlie Fisher has really made the transition extremely easy, especially offensively. Sean McGuire is a big part of that. I mean, he's really doing a nice job in a new offense. He reads defenses very, very well. Steve McShane has stepped up, but all this doesn't happen with the offensive line. They really haven't gotten a lot of credit, but they really have made a nice pocket for Sean, created a lot of open lanes running for McShane and Jamie Gilmore and Devin Moore. And then obviously you just have talent with your wide receivers that you just can't coach. And Lance Lenore and Joey Borsellino and Zeke LaShore, those guys are exceptional players. And so I think most of those guys played when they were young. Now they know what it's all about, and so they've really done a nice job this season.
And let's talk about men's basketball really quickly as well. The season is just around the corner. Last year they had that terrific start, kind of trailed off at the end. What are you expecting this year?
I think they'll be better. I think this is a shot where they can really make a move and be about a 500 team. Again, a lot of experience coming back. A lot of guys played young, and Billy Wright has had this team improve every single year so far.
Absolutely. Going to be a fun season. Scott Kornberg, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Redrick. Appreciate it.
And coming up next, we'll break down the week's 5 best plays. Top plays are coming up next. You're watching Local Sports Focus.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
A lot of exciting plays over the weekend, and we have 5 for you this week. It is Top Cuts, and we will start at number 5, Leatherneck football tight end Tony Harper. The Pitt transfer falling down, and he made the catch late in the game Saturday. Leathernecks fall, however, 21-13.
At number 4, we go to Leatherneck women's basketball against William Jewell. Taylor Hanneman, the former McClintock, knocks home the triple at the buzzer to end the first half.
She's still T-Mac, though, and halfway through at number 3, back to Leatherneck football, true freshman Darren Wheeler. He's a sports broadcasting major. Would you expect anything less? Jumping the route for his first career interception, he returns it to the NDSU 4-yard line.
To number 2, we go MHS Cross Country's Maya Stovall at the MHS Regional, breaking the course record by a full 10 seconds. What a job by the sophomore, who finishes with a time of 18:08 to help the Bombers advance to the sectionals.
And at number 1, back to MHS Cross Country, check out Zach Zonley sprinting to the finish to edge out the competition. Gotta love the lean at the end as the senior notches a top 15 finish in slow-mo.
Stick around. We have a look at the upcoming week schedule for both MHS and WA.
More local sports focus on the other side of this break.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
You can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency or your escape route. I am not fast. Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries. Low battery. Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
We are on Local Sports Focus. We want to inform you, our viewers, about the sporting events going on at Macomb High and Western Illinois University.
We end our show with a look ahead at the next week's sports for the area.
Let's start off with Macomb High, who's starting to wrap up their fall sports season. Before heading into winter sports, the girls swimming team is taken to the pool on Wednesday and next week, Thursday. All meets start at 4:30 p.m. and are at the Macomb High swimming pool inside MHS.
Pretty soon will be high school basketball season, and Western Illinois University starts out their schedule at the Summit League Cross Country Championship at Spring Lake Park, 10 in the morning. The meet will take place there, Spring Lake, just a little north of here. Then later that afternoon, the Fighting Leathernecks take the field at the University of South Dakota at 2 p.m. against the Fighting Bob Nielsen's, and women's soccer takes the field at 1 p.m. Sunday at John McKenzie Alumni Field. And finishing out the week is the Fighting Leatherneck volleyball team against Oral Roberts inside Western Hall. That one will start at 5 p.m.
Good stuff coming up for the week. So that's it for us. But thanks for joining us for Local Sports Focus.
And we will be back next Wednesday, so make sure to tune in. That I'm on soup number 2 today because of Mother Nature.
And for more sports coverage, join us as always at Live at 4 on Thursday.
For Frederick Terry, I'm Danny Fry. For all of us at Local Sports Focus, have a great morning.